Where does Oleksandr Usyk?
Are you kidding me? He's earned the right to be. He's earned the right to be mentioned with all the top guys. He's one of the great winners of our era.
But what he did have was a level of boxing intelligence that they just simply couldn't do anything about. They couldn't handle it. They couldn't deal.
I think he was prepared good. Usyk was good prepared, and he can beat him more, a lot more, like last time. Because last time he beat him most, he beat him more, you know. But this time was also good.
Did you feel like Oleksandr was using that backhand, his backhand, really well, because he seemed to be connecting to Tyson Fury quite often with the backhand?
I think he was prepared good. Usyk was good prepared, and he can beat him more, a lot more. But just maybe Fury was changed something.
I'm happy. I'm happy because this man did what he had to do, what he intended to do. He got the victory. He won. He made a good job. He went through 12 rounds, tough rounds, with the best man, best possible opponent. What can I say? Respect to the men, to both.
He didn't listen. He's a man of his word, but he's a superstar of what he does inside and outside the ring. You know, we know what's going on in Ukraine and what he stands for, and you know that passion, that emotion comes with him inside the ring, and we see that in his performances. Like, he's a guy, an incredible guy that, like, you get to round 9 and you think now that, you know, they're starting to feel it here, the psychological battle's coming in, they're blowing a gasket, fatigue setting in, but he's a guy that's got the ability to be able to turn the screw and turn it on in those last championship rounds, and that is the difference between him and the others.
He's such a good tactician, actually, within the context of a fight, isn't he? He knows when to put the pressure on. He reads a fight so well. And if it's close, you know he's going to find that little extra gear.
John, it's that last 30 seconds of each round, when the round's close and you're thinking, which way is this going to go here? Because it was seesawing all the time in there. He's got the ability to, that last 30 seconds, to switch it on, put those combinations together, and that's the eye-catching stuff, the stuff that stays in the judge's mind. And they're the ones where them swing rounds, where they were quite close, that was what was getting him the rounds. That was just enough. So, you know, he might land a couple of big right hands or a little combination, and that sticks with the judge, and I think that's the way the sort of fight went. Very close.
How good is Oleksandr Usyk? We've seen him now come into the heavyweight division, fight a Derek Chisora, fight Anthony Joshua twice, fight Tyson Fury twice, and he's the undisputed heavyweight. Well, he was until, obviously, the belt let go. But what do you make of him as a fighter? Just sum him up, special fighter.
Yeah, he put himself in the mix to be. He's put himself in the mix as one of the greatest heavyweights that's ever been. So, undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, amazing.
Had him hurt on a few occasions, but it wasn't like round 9 of the first fight. It wasn't as bad as that. It wasn't as dramatic as that. But I tell you what, the judges, for once in boxing, they got it right. All the experts had Oleksandr Usyk winning 116 to 112. So Usyk 8 rounds to 4 rounds on the side of Fury. And that's not one judge, not 2 judges, but all 3 judges. Even the artificial intelligence judge had it that way, and a lot of the boxing pundits at ringside, they felt the same way as well. So let's talk about the fight. First of all, when Fury took his shirt off, I was a little concerned, okay? As an Englishman, I wish both men the best. But of course, you know, Tyson Fury's flying the flag for the UK. He took the shirt off, and we know he came in 55 pounds heavier than Oleksandr Usyk, and he looked very soft around the midsection. Now, of course, he's performed at a high level throughout the entirety of his career, not exactly looking like a bodybuilder. And because of the extra weight, well, of course, it's going to slow you down, but it's also going to make you gas as the fight progresses. Now, Tyson Fury looked sharp. He looked really good. Both men in the early stages, they went to war. They both promised that. They both said they were going to come out and do some damage, and that's exactly what they delivered. Over 12...
Really pick up the pace, and you just still can't go with it. It takes, you know, it does have an effect. But what I'm trying to say is Usyk's work to the body, the volume of body punches. I'd like to see the stats on body punching. Be it straights, be it a jab, be it backhands, whatever. Because Usyk's volume of body work is what I thought was the difference in the fight. His lead hand activity was probably the best it's been since he's been at heavyweight, maybe. I thought he took away, you know, we were all talking about the Fury right uppercut going into the fight because he had a lot of success. We were all talking about what Tyson's going to do, but, you know, I said Usyk's clever. These people, they're going to look at that and see what they can do better.
Did you go into the last round? Was you sure that you were ahead on points? Was you comfortable that you're winning the fight going into round 12?
I'm just boxing. I'm just continue my plan. What say Yuri, my coach? No, it's fight was
Easier one.
easy. Not easy, but not easy. Easier.
Easier than the first one.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He probably should have tried a little more of he has a good one too, one pop, you know. And, you know, he used his size and reach and everything. Usyk is like a machine though. He's just got a big battery that never stops.
Do you think he's unbeatable, Oleksandr Usyk, in this era? Do you think he's unbeatable in this era, Usyk?
No, nobody's unbeatable. Nobody's unbeatable. Muhammad Ali in his prime isn't here today, so.
Just lastly, Michael, good performance there from Tyson. Many people did have it close. Where do you think he goes next?
Tyson?
Yeah.
An
Anthony Joshua fight, maybe?
He could pack Wembley with an Anthony Joshua fight for sure. I think Triple D and Usyk could put 90,000 in Wembley because that's a good fight.
There was a bit of controversy from the first fight.
Of course. You know, 1/2 inch difference.
Personally, yeah, how's it going? Yeah, how are you? Yeah, I did think he won the fight, but it was just a great fight all around.
Did you think that the weight had any factor? What did you think of Tyson coming in heavier?
I think it did have a factor. It depends in different parts. So he was able to, in parts, get hold of Usyk lean on him, put a little bit of good work in the body shots and stuff. But then I do think that down the straight, because Usyk was able to weather that, the conditioning did play a factor in the last few rounds where he was able to just throw 3-4 punches more in exchanges, and I think that's what edged it out for him.
Teddy Alice, Oleksandr.
I got plenty of them wrong, but you know that one I felt very strongly about, just like the first time. Usyk knows how to win. He'll find a way to win. And I thought Tyson would be better, and he was better. Give him, and you know what the flag said? Winner. I know how to win, and that's what he does. He knows how to win.
Teddy, I know you've got a flight to catch, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for your time this week. Actually, Oleksandr Usyk, where does he rank for you now? Where does he rank for you amongst the greats?
Say that again.
Where does Oleksandr Usyk rank?
Are you kidding me? He's earned the right to be. He's earned the right to be mentioned with all the top guys. He's one of the great winners of our era. And you know the funny thing about him, there's not one thing that you can say, oh my God, he does so great. He's the greatest puncher. He's fast like Ali. His legs are like, no. There's not one thing he doesn't do real well. He does everything real well. There's not one weakness. And the most important thing at the end of the day, the strongest part of him all, this.
Greater sort of set of circumstances. But much like he has for very long stretches of his career, there are the plans that the people in boxing make around him, and then there is just the f***ing wrecking ball that is Oleksandr Usyk, and he shred those plans and never let them come to fruition today with a very, very, very good performance, a elite performance, if ever there was one. I said this, everywhere he has gone, he has done winning an Olympic gold medal, clearing out cruiserweight, and now becoming the guy at heavyweight of his generation. 2 times against Joshua, 2 times against Fury, beating Dubois. He's special in ways that are almost hard to describe. You just won't see boxing talent like this very often. You could watch boxing another 30 years and not necessarily see a guy quite like this. He is one of one, a unique personality, a unique look to him, a unique way of being. Part of a bigger system, obviously, and part of a, as I mentioned before, that the amateur Ukrainian team that he and Lomachenko and Vazdik and others were all part of. But just such a, they couldn't handle it. They couldn't deal with it. That's what you got. You just got a guy. He's so impressive. It blows me away. I cannot believe how fucking good he is. It is just remarkable. And so you saw many of the trademarks from the first fight. lead outside foot positioning, forcing him over to the left side, getting underneath that jab to go to the body, the stab to the body, the stab to the body. So he brought back some of the hallmarks, the trademarks that worked well the first time that you can build off of, right? It's sort of modular. The first time we'll do these kinds of jabs to the body and then build out from there, different attacks for the first fight. And then in this one, you know, having to go to a separate set of attacks.
Jordan, originally he said he had this fight a draw, and then upon reflection, you know, 5-7 at best, seriously, mate. And, you know, of course, then he goes on. You know, he's back in a new horse now. He's asked, is Oleksandr Usyk unbeatable? And he says no. I agree. Yeah, look, there's no such thing as an unbeatable fighter. Yes, fighters retire undefeated. Andre Ward, Joe Calzaghe, Floyd Mayweather, Rocky Marciano, Ricardo Lopez, to name a few. They retired undefeated. Were they unbeatable? Marciano was certainly beatable. You know, Jersey Joe Walcott nearly beat him. If it was a 12-rounder, he would have won that fight. It was back in the days of 15 rounds. He got knocked out in the 13th round. Floyd Mayweather, many people feel as though we already should have lost to, was it Jose Luis Castillo?
It really is, man. Now, the first thing I've got to say is, why did Tyson Fury lose this? Well, I said in my prediction, there is only one way to beat Oleksandr Usyk. I've been saying the same thing ahead of Anthony Joshua's fights with him, ahead of everyone's fights with him. You've got to fight a kill or be killed fight. And even then, it's not a guaranteed way to beat him. Like, it doesn't mean if you fight kill or be killed, you're going to win. But the point is if you box with that boxer, you will lose. He is the best at that. I said in that first fight, Tyson Fury had good energy and a good moment up to round 7, and at that point his energy started to go, his punches became less effective, and he was less of a threat, and Usyk took over. So you need to come into this fight and go in for the kill within those rounds, or you're gonna lose, man. Guaranteed. And I'm not saying like, oh, stick it on him, like as if it's like that simple. You've obviously got to do it, you know, responsibly, cleverly, but you've got to force the issue, because this man, he understands the laws of boxing too well. You've got to break the rules in order to beat him, and that requires you to do unorthodox things, to do unpredictable things, and when you do clip them, empty the gas tank and go after him with every last drop of energy you've got. You've got to race him instead of staying with him, because when you try and stay with him, you have to play by the rules, and when you do that, he wins every
Woohoo! Usyk's movement is so damn good. Nice. Already, one thing I love about Usyk, he gets right on his opponents. I love how Usyk answered it. He goes, I'm ready. Your Excellency, Turkey, please make this matchup, right? And I love that he's just, you can tell he's an athlete who just wants to prove that he's the best, right? There is no showboating. There is no trash talking. He's like, yes, we can do it. But we'll fight again. And I think after he beats Daniel Dubois, he's already beat Daniel Dubois. He's already beat Anthony Joshua twice. He's already beat Tyson Fury twice. If he beats Daniel Dubois twice, there's nothing left for this man to prove in boxing. I think this man lays the gloves down, walks away from the sport of boxing, spend time with his children, his wife. He mentioned his kids are in judo, and I think it'll be awesome for him to be able to walk away from the sport.
Usyk winning this fight shows you that he is one of the all-time greats in the sport of boxing, and he's not done yet. You think maybe with that win, it would be like, what else do I have to do? Well, he's going to continue building a legacy and staying in the heavyweight division. I know some people talked about him going down and fighting Jai Opetaia. I don't see that happening. He's 220 plus pounds now. Daniel Dubois wants his revenge. We'll see what happens there. But as of right now, close fight. Usyk is the winner. Again, when I watched live, I saw a draw there. 7-5, Usyk wouldn't upset me. 8-4, again, close round, so I guess I can understand it. Regardless, Usyk is your winner.
I said, who's going to show up? The winner, the guy named Usyk, who always finds it, because he doesn't let it get away from him. Because he knew that if he let another round go like that, it could get away from him. The momentum started to flow that way. So what does he do in the 6th round? He comes out and dominates the round. He comes out and takes control. And what does he do for the next 5 rounds, whatever? At least on my scorecard. And maybe on the judges, I didn't see their score. But for the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th round, 5 rounds in all, I gave it to him. And the 11th. The 12th round I gave to Fury.
Last question for you. One word answer. It's an easy one. Will anyone in this era beat Oleksandr Usyk, yes or no?
There's one guy out there.
Name him.
Father Time.
Beautiful answer. I'm going to leave it on that. It's a beautiful ending.
It's like, it drove me crazy. But Oleksandr Usyk is a stud. That dude is so difficult to fight. He's got great movement. And this is, when we talk about it, he's faster. He's elusive, so Tyson misses a lot of shots on him, which only makes him tired. Tyson was too big, carrying too much weight. I'll give him credit. He actually performed better. When I looked at him at the weigh-in and he kept his jacket on, I was like, dude, you're telling me something.
Why'd you spend 3 months away if you weren't going to get yourself in tip? I felt like he was in good shape.
Starting to push you, and you can't stop it. And that's what it seemed like to me. I just looked at it, and his corner. I would turn on the sound when the round ended to see what his corner would say and stuff, and they were telling him, kind of the right stuff, but they were kind of trying to cheerlead him. They were cheerleading him, trying to get him going and stuff. And it was like, you're just not the guy that's going to end up beating Usyk. He's got your number, and he understands how to stand in front of you. When you throw, he usually starts it. He knows your counter, and then he's countering your counter, and he's landing. And he landed at a much better percentage. He landed more shots. He easily won the fight. I didn't think it was close.
Yeah, I didn't think it was close either.
I mean, look, it was a close fight. It could have gone either way, in my opinion. I think the scorecards only gave Tyson over the 4 rounds or something.
Yeah, it was 116, 112 on all scorecards, 8-4.
8-4, yeah. I mean, look, I don't think it was that close. Honestly, I had it even in round 10, going into the final 2 rounds, and I thought Tyson might have nicked it, you know what I mean? He could have gone either way, but wish them both the very best. And I think, look, Tyson thought he won the fight by looking at him. A lot of people thought he won the fight. It's boxing, you know what I mean? It's what the judges saw.
A heavier Tyson Fury in this rematch. What did you actually make of his performance tonight?
I think Tyson was getting some big shots in. He was catching Usyk with some very good shots. And I was sat next to Klitschko and also Lennox Lewis.
That's not bad company.
You know what I mean? I felt strong. No one's going to touch me.
You think that's got truthfully?
I thought he was dead tonight. I thought he was going to get it, if I'm honest.
I swear to God, I thought I won it by at least 3 rounds. Boss the fight in front foot all night, I worked.
Some of those shots that Fury was throwing, if they'd have landed, they might have knocked him out in the final rounds. However, that's not what we saw. Went to the judges' scorecards. I thought it would be Oleksandr Usyk, and of course I was correct. Because he was the better boxer. He did the more damage, right? He landed some beautiful shots. He was working the body early, lowering the defenses, letting the air out of the tires, bringing down the elbows away from the chin to set up the lead shots. So it was jabs to the body, straight left to the body, jab to the body, looping left hooks over the top from Oleksandr Usyk. And he landed that shot multiple times. Now, fair play to both men, because they both got cracked, they both got hit, they both took some damage. And both men took it really, really well. There was certainly nothing bad about Tyson Fury. He pushed the pace, he went 12 rounds, he didn't get overly tired. Of course, after 12 rounds of boxing,